अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा माह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. So now we are in chapter 4. So in chapter 4, it is again, this also started with a question of Arjuna and then answered by Krishna. In the first to 4, Krishna explained the lineage of transcendental knowledge. Then he explained from 5th to 10th, he explained the divine nature of the Supreme Personality, that is himself. From 11 to 15, Krishna explained that he is the Supreme Creator and that the accumulation of all paths, whichever path we take towards devotion, finally takes them to you. And 16 to 24, understanding karma on the platform of knowledge. Till now we have discussed about understanding karma by doing karma. Now we are discussing on the platform of knowledge. In Sloka 424, 4.24, Krishna 4.25, Krishna explained Yajna is a spiritual knowledge. Yajna in spiritual knowledge will lead to spiritual goal. Otherwise, we can previously we have explained that yajna can be done in many ways. But now he is coming to how an yajna should be done. That it should be done with the spiritual knowledge, and that will take us to the spiritual goal. Because for us, the final thing is to reach Krishna. That is the spiritual goal. Here, some karma yogis, they perform demigod worship also, like Ravana and other Rakshasas. They do demigod worship. Why do they do demigod worship? Because they have some materialistic desires, and to fulfill those desires, they do demigod worship. And some jnana yogis do Brahman worship. And by doing yajnas or sacrifice, what happens is we improve our character will change. Because anything spiritual we keep doing, our character will keep changing. So we also discussed about dharma, like that we all know what is dharma. Dharma means a quality which cannot be separated by us. So doing yajna is also a part of our dharma. Like all these things were a part of our scriptures. So as these were a part of our scriptures, we were all in the olden days, we were asked simply to by heart our whatever is said by Guru. That the reason is because there is already an established fact which does not require any more investigation or study or understanding. Just by understanding that, we reach the Supreme Personality. because that was there like that we were asked to do by heart in those days. But in other countries that was not what was followed, because their knowledge is not ultimate. They don't have the ultimate knowledge. The knowledge what they had was just it was the knowledge which scientists, the normal materialistic scientists have found out. So it was supposed to be understood. So, but unfortunately, we also adopted that education system only, but we are still by hearting without any understanding. So now we will start with Sloka 4.26. I have to share my screen. Yeah, we will read. Harshit, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah.
Strotraधिनिन्द्रये ये अन्ये संयम्यग्नेषु
संयमाग्नेषु जुह्वति शब्दादीन्
वेश्यायान् विषयान्
विषयान्
इन्द्रियाग्निषु इन्द्रियाग्निषु जुह्वति. Translation. Some unadulterated
brahmacharis.
Brahmacharis sacrifice the hearing process and the senses in the fire of mental control, and the regulated householders sacrifice the objects of the senses in the fire of the senses.
Some adulterated brahmacharis. Adulteration means not pure. Kalti antanga. The adulterated brahmacharis sacrifice the hearing process and the senses and the sense in the fire of mental control, and others. The regulated householder sacrifice the objects of the senses in the fire of the senses. There are many the words same repeated used. So here this Sloka 2.26 talks about the sacrifices karma yogis and brahmacharis do. What kind of yajnas a brahmachari and a karma yogi has to do. Brahmachari normally he cannot have his sense control, sense gratification. That means brahmachari is none other than a student. Like we studied this sloka, no? Kakachestra Bhakotyana. What is that you learned in that sloka? You said a student should not have materialistic and enjoyment. That is the last line in that sloka. So a brahmachari should sacrifice all his sense enjoyments. That sacrifice is nothing called as yajna. Means they are not allowed for sense enjoyment to some extent. That means brahmacharis, the students, cannot spend their life for sense enjoyment, because their life should be totally dedicated to attaining knowledge, not for materialistic enjoyment. That itself is called an yajna, a sacrifice in learning. So they are doing this sacrifice in learning. Here you have to be very clear that yajna means not sitting in front of the fire and then putting all the yajna, all the oil and other things in it. It is the work which we are doing, the way we have to do is called a yajna. So brahmacharis sacrifice their sense gratifications, and gruhastu, the yajna, what he is supposed to do is taking care of the society, because as we always talked that the Brahmins are not supposed to earn money. They are only supposed to keep teaching others, distributing knowledge, and doing yajnas and then doing rituals like that. They are not supposed to earn money. So who will take care of a Brahmin? A Gruhastu has to take care of. That means a Vaisya, a Gruhastu has to take care of it. That is, he has to take care of the society. That is his yajna. By doing so, that kind of an yajna, a Gruhastu has to be happy. Like we all know that the maximum happiness gives in giving, because here we have to be very clear. The moment we see happiness in taking, how much ever you take, you will really want more. Like you buy half a dozen clothes, next day you go to shop, one more interesting is there, you will feel, I should have bought this also, I want this also. And that way, anything, whatever you do, you still have the urge. That means by giving you can never be fully satisfied. Sorry, by taking, but by giving we can always be very happy. Like we go and give something out of you suppose you have something, you take your box, your friend has not brought his lunch, so you share your box with him. You might be feeling little hungry, but still you will not be sad, you will be very happy. That means giving is the greatest sacrifice one can do. So Gruhastu has to do that sacrifice. He has to keep not accumulating money, making his family and himself very great, very rich, I should say, very rich, but giving and taking care of the society is the sacrifice which a Gruhastu has to do. And by doing and doing such this thing, you will be very happy. Okay, so that is what it is. A brahmacharis has to do yajna of learning, and a gruhastu has to do the yajna of giving. Yeah, Vishnu Priya. Are you unmuted? No, 1 minute. Where is the cursor? Wait. I'm not getting unmuted. Now try.
Yes, ma'am.
So 0.27. Yeah.
सर्वानीन्द्रियकर्माणि प्राणकर्माणि चापरे आत्मसंयम योगाग्नौ जुह्वति ज्ञानदीपिते. Others who are interested in achieving self-realization through control of the mind and senses offer the functions of all the senses and of the life breath as oblations into the fire of the controlled mind.
Hare Krishna. Others who are interested in achieving self-realization through control of mind and senses offer the functions of all senses and of the life breath as ablations into the fire of the controlled mind. This sloka is about the followers of the actual yajna system. That is, we talked about this Patanjali yoga, so not yajna system, yoga system, the Patanjali yoga and other things. They offer their functions of their senses and also functions of their life airs into the fire of control. That means they try to achieve everything. They try to achieve good things, good health and other things by doing asanas. We have discussed about this. See, we always say that we are doing yoga, but what physical things, whatever we are doing is not yoga, but asanas. So, so some are interested in achieving self-realization through control. So they think that the self-realization they are getting only by controlling their body, controlling their mind. So because they want to have urge to do this, they think that by controlling their mind and controlling their respiration, they are getting the benefit of the yajna. Okay. Jitesh, you want to read this? Are you there? You said you want to read this.
Krishna.
Correct.
Yoga
Tapare Swayadaya
Swadhyaya Yajnasya
Yataya
Yataya. Okay, I think you are not getting signal.
Translation. Having accepted strike, woe someone become
Enlightened.
enlightened by sacrificing their possessions and others by performing serves
Severe austerities. Severe austerities.
by practicing the yoga of eightfold
Mysticism.
mysticism,
I think you are losing your signal.
or by studying the Vedas to achieve the
Transcendental knowledge. Hare Krishna. Having accepted strict vows, some become enlightened by sacrificing their possessions. That means they think that we want to do, we want to, they take a decision and they start sacrificing their possessions, whatever they have, and others by performing severe austerities. That means, like a person in Krishna consciousness, like us, we really need not do any severe austerities. We don't do anything very strict. We live a very normal, simple, and we keep enjoying our life. But what we do, what we are doing is only keeping Krishna 24 hours in our mind and thinking of him always. That is, always think about Krishna and never forget about Krishna. 1 minute. 1 minute. So this is like this. We in Krishna consciousness, what we do is we always remember Krishna and never forget him. That's all the austerity we are doing. Anything we do, anything that good that happens to us, we say thank you, Krishna. Anything we buy, we eat, we do anything, we first offer it to Krishna. So our life is simple. But some people, they perform severe austerities. They fast their body. They just live on breath. And many things like that. For practicing the yoga of eightfold mysticism, the eightfold mysticism also, this eightfold yoga also we have studied in our SSR class, or by studying the Vedas to advance in transcendental knowledge. Because by studying this Bhagavad Gita itself, we are struggling like this. So we are studying Vedas, we can understand how difficult it is. First we have to, if at all, when we complete this Bhagavad Gita, we can, the better thing what we can read is Bhagavatam, which is total stories. So, but these Vedas are comparatively very tough, difficult, written in Sanskrit. So, to get this, they even study Vedas to get the transcendental knowledge. So here, Dravya Yajna, Krishna is using the word as Dravya Yajna, which is sacrificing whatever we have. Sacrifice of charity, that means giving away everything. Then he says Tapo Yajna, that means doing austerities or tapasya. And he also says Yoga Yajna, yogic exercises, that is doing all the asanas. Then Swat Yajna means engaging oneself in Sastric study, that is Vedas. So studying Vedas, all these are very difficult, are various types of yajnas and sacrifices. So this is what. So from now, Krishna tells that Krishna consciousness is different, and that is above all these yajnas. And the best yajna one can do is Krishna consciousness that is satisfying Krishna. So from now Krishna will explain that. Yeah, Krishna Priya. 4.29.
Mataji, shall I read, Mataji?
Yeah, Krishna Priya.
Apane juhvati pranam prane panam tatha pare pranapanagati rutva pranayama parayana apare niyatahara pranam praneshu juhvati. Still, others who are inclined to the process of breath, restrained to remain in trance, practice by offering the movement of the outgoing breath into the incoming and the incoming breath into the outgoing, and thus at last remain in trance, stopping all breathing. Others curtailing the eating process, offer the outgoing breath into itself as a sacrifice.
Yeah, this is one type of yajna what people do. Still others who are inclined to process of breath restraint to remain in trance, practice by offering the movement of outgoing breath into incoming and incoming breath into outgoing, and thus at least remain in trance, at last remain into trance, stopping all breathing. Others curtailing the eating process after the outgoing breath into itself as a sacrifice. So here Krishna is explaining one type of yajna, that is pranayama yajna. Let all of us know about this pranayama. We always say that pranayama is a very good breathing exercise. It is definitely a very good breathing exercise, but we don't consider it as yajna. But like it's one of the asana. The last type, this is the last type of yajna. That is some air in the body, that which goes, the air which goes down in the body is called apana vayu, and the air which comes up is called prana vayu. So controlling breath is called as pranayama. In this, we reverse the direction of the life airs. By doing this, we will curtail, that means by doing pranayama and then controlling it, we curtail the eating process and hence the sense control. So we gain some sense control on the by doing this. So another way of doing it, this is also called as puraka, which is called prolonged inhalation. That means when they take the air, they hold it for long inside the body. That is called puraka. And then they call one more called as rechaka, that is prolonged exhalation. That means they leave the air outside and then hold it like that. So kumbhaka, stop breath after inhale and exhale. That means after they take inhale, they just hold the air for some time in the chest. That is called kumbhaka. Similarly, they leave the air outside and then again hold it for some time, which is called as rechaka. Here in this, the pranavayu, the air, which is the life air, is merged with that is the pranavayu is merged with the apanavayu, that is the rechaka, and the vice versa. This is all nothing much to talk about. These are all ways of controlling our air and then getting control on the body. Till now, Krishna has explained about the purposes of this yajna. That means that worshipping of demigod is mind, and how to get the Brahman, the mind control, the sense control, what the brahmacharis do, what the gruhasthas do, and about the austerities, the Vedic studies, and the pranayama. Till now, he has explained that. Now he is going to explain this. Yeah, 4.33. You have read, no? Who is this? Siri, are you there?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, read this.
Sarvepyete yajnavido yajñakshapitakalmasa yajñasishtamrutabhujo yanti brahma sanatanam. Translation. All these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice become cleansed of sinful reactions, and having tasted the nectar of results of sacrifices, they advance towards the supreme eternal atmosphere.
All these performers, that means the performers of these yajnas, who know the meaning of sacrifice, become cleansed of sinful reactions, and having tasted the nectar of the results of sacrifices, they advance towards the supreme eternal atmosphere. Here, by doing 125 to 29, what Krishna has explained is that by doing these sacrifices, the sinful reactions are eradicated from us. Having tasted the remittance of sacrifices, that means when we taste the benefits of certain things we are doing, one can attain the spiritual world. Through this process also, we can attain the spiritual world. For all those, we have to have a lot of self-control. What is important. Yeah. Now, Harshit.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Nayam lokosti ayagnyasya kuto anyaha kuro sattama.
Kuro Sattama. Yeah.
Translation. O best of the Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice, one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. What then of the next?
Yeah. O best of Kuru dynasty. Who is the best of Kuru dynasty? Arjuna. Without sacrifice, one can never be happily on this planet, on this life. Then what can we say about the next life? This is a very simple sloka and a simple statement. So, only when we know what is sacrifice and know the happiness of giving, then we can live happily in this planet and also in the next life. So, one who is not performing any yajna means he has got no self-control. That means yajna, we have already discussed that yajna means doing a sacrifice. That means giving up something what we have. So if we don't develop that habit in us, what is that? That means we have no self-control. Everything we want for ourselves only. One cannot live happily either in this planet or other planet, because the more greedy we become, as we stop giving to others, we are becoming greedy. So when we become greedy, a greedy person can never be happy. If we don't perform in this life, we cannot expect in the next life also. In this life, we might be, without giving, by keeping everything for ourselves, we might be living very comfortable. If not, even by not doing austerity also, we might be living a very happy life. So, but that person is very ignorant of the real situation. He should understand that the enjoyment what he is having now is very temporary. That one should understand that he is a servant of God, and that we cannot escape from the sins of this human life, and what we are enjoying is only temporary. This we should be very clear. So doing yajna is very important. Krishna Priya?
Yes, Mataji. Evam bahuvidha yajna vidata brahmano mukhe karmajan vidditam sarvan evam jnatva vimokshyase. All these different types of sacrifice are approved by the Vedas, and all of them are born of different types of work. Knowing them as such, you will become liberated.
Yeah. All these different types of sacrifices are approved in Vedas. We have been studying from our SSR class, the Discover Yourself classes, that is the, what is that? What are the 3 ways of learning? Hearing is the best way to get the knowledge. What do you call that?
Savana.
It's not Savanama. We have 3 ways. No, one is seeing, one is hearing, the third one is touching. We call the. Okay, it will come when it comes. I'll tell. You know, in Okay, so in that what we see is that the best way to learn something is to learn from a uh, mm, approved source, that is the Vedas, because Vedas were never proved to be wrong. So that is how they are never proved to be wrong, so they are correct. So all these things what we are doing, these yajnas are sacrifice approved by Vedas, and all of them are born out of different types of works, that is different works. Knowing them as such, you will become liberated. So doing something, we will doing something what is written in Vedas, we will get liberated. Pratyaksha pramanam, anumana pramanam, sabda pramanam. I didn't get. So we have, when we discussed about Pratyaksha Pramanam, Anumana Pramanam, we said they are not 100% correct, but Sabda Pramanam, that means hearing from, knowing from a known established source is the best way. So that is, Vedas are one amongst that. So Brahma is in Vedas, Karma is prescribed duty, and Yajna is sacrifice. Prescribed duties. What is Yajna? Yajna is nothing but doing our prescribed duty. Jitesh, you want to read this? Not Jitesh. Who is it? Vishnupriya will read it?
Next.
Yeah. Yeah. For. Yeah. Vishnupriya read this.
एवं श्रेयान् द्राव्यमयाद् यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः परं तपः सर्वं कर्मखिलं पार्थ ज्ञाने परिमाप्यते. Translation. O chastiser of the enemy, the sacrifice performed in knowledge is better than the mere sacrifice of material possessions. After all, O son of Vritha, all sacrifices of work accumulate in transcendental knowledge.
O chastiser of the enemy. That means Arjuna is a great warrior. So he can kill, he can punish in all his enemies. So Krishna addresses him as chastiser of the enemy. The sacrifice performed in the knowledge, is better than mere sacrifice of material possession. That means the sacrifice performed in knowledge, there should be a comma there. The sacrifice, that means when we are doing a sacrifice, if we do it with knowledge, that is better than mere sacrifice of material possessions. That means we are just doing something. Why are we doing? Because it is said to be done, we are doing. That is not the right way. When we are doing something, we should understand what we are doing. That means we should do the sacrifice with knowledge. After all, O son of Partha, all sacrifices of work accumulate in transcendental knowledge, because all the sacrifices should take us to the Krishna. We should give us transcendental knowledge. So here what Krishna has started telling is that rather than doing a material sacrifice, it is better to do a jnana yajna. So jnana yajna is the sacrifice you perform in knowledge. So means giving up something in knowledge is better than doing without knowledge. So cumulative of karma is jnana. So finally we have been discussing about this. First we talk about karma yoga and then we go to jnana yoga. Because from accumulation of karma, the result of karma yoga will take us to jnana yoga, which is the conclusion of this karma yoga section. A seed planted gives a plant. That is a karma. But in jnana does not plant. Karma is burnt. Like what here is said is, if you karma is our action. So when we have an action, and that means it is a seed that we have accumulated. Understand this point. The seed which we have accumulated because of our karma, what will happen to the seed when we plant it? It automatically gets planted and the karma grows as a plant. But the same karma with knowledge, if you put it in yajna, that means if you put it in the sacrifice fire, here it is fire, but what we do is the knowledge, what happens is the seed is burnt. That means the karma, the bad karma or good karma whichever we have accumulated will not give us one more life. It will simply get burnt. That means that the seed's life has, the karma's life has ended there. I think you understood this point, no? For me to understand this point, I had to read it 2-3 times. See, anything we accumulate, anything we earn is karma. That is, we are comparing it with a seed. That seed, any seed, normally the normal process is it will go into the earth and then grow as a plant. That means our karma, we have to suffer or enjoy it. That is the normal karma. But the same seed, without putting it in the soil, but putting it in the fire, what happens? The seed loses its life and it is burnt off. So no more plant will come. So similarly, when we do our yajna with knowledge, that means when we do it in Krishna consciousness, the seed gets burnt off. That means no more karma. It becomes a akarma. That is what is important here. We are in material world desirous taking. Once we start giving up in this material world, what is that we want? We want. But once we start giving it up, we will be relieved. That means once we start, we say we don't want anything more. Whatever we have is enough for us. That is where we are going to be very happy. Okay. Yeah. Jitesh, read. Sorry, Hare Krishna.
Mataji, please change the slide.
Oh. Yeah.
तद्विप्रणिपातेन परिप्रेक्ष्येण सेवया उपदीक्षन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनः दर्शिनः. Translation. Just try to learn the truth by approaching the spirit master. Inquire from him
Submissively.
Submissively and render service into him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth.
Very good. Sloka, I think all of you learned in SSP. All of you know this sloka, no? Hare Krishna. Just try to learn the truth. So now Krishna is taking it totally. Till now he has been talking about doing things, doing yajna. Now he is telling about the how to get the, just one sloka before he said you have to get the jnana. So now from now he will tell us how to get the jnana. So we all know this sloka. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So all of you know the meaning of this also. This sloka is a very, very important sloka. And so we should understand this. He says, approach a guru, offer obeisances. We have to be very submissive and we have to do relevant inquiry. That means we have to be very careful in asking a guru question. See, Arjuna has accepted Krishna as a guru and he has been asking questions. But if you see, nowhere there will be any arrogance in the question of Arjuna. His question always says, how do I understand? How will it be? What will happen? How do you think? I did not understand this. That way Arjuna was asking very obediently. With a guru, we should never be very arrogant, nor we must ask a guru questions, but we should ask the guru questions only to know whatever we have not understood, not to test the knowledge of the guru. So submission and service to guru only will give us knowledge. The moment we start testing guru, finish. That means you are arrogant. That means you have no faith on your guru. When you have no faith on your guru, you will never get the right knowledge. They can give you knowledge, and they have, because why can they give you knowledge? Because they have seen and realized the knowledge. See, there is a difference. By studying, some people, just by reading, by mugging up the book, some people will have knowledge. But by understanding the same book and by realizing what is, realizing means real knowledge of that, by really realizing what he has learned, they will be able to tell better. Blind following is never good. Like, because my guru has said, okay, I did not understand this, but I will do it. One way, maybe you are respecting your guru, but that is not what you should do. Unless, if the guru is really intelligent, like a guru, like a Prabhupada, suppose he says something, we can follow, 100% we can follow, because he is a highly realized soul. But nothing wrong. We can follow him, but nothing wrong in inquiring why did you say, Guruji, like this? I did not understand this, what you have said. You should not even say, why did you say? You should say, what you said, I could not understand what all you have said. Can you please explain me? That way we should ask him. Normally, it is never advised to follow anything without understanding. And never challenge your guru. Inquire with submission. Serve him, and then only the realization comes. See, and serving guru is also the best way to, that is one way. If you take it, these days we don't have the culture of serving gurus, because it's all school, it's all commercial activity. In the previous days, they were all gurukulas, where even the son of a king also used to be one amongst any other student in the Gurukul. He used to do all the works. Like, he used to massage the legs of the Guru. He used to wash the dishes for the Guru Mata. He used to bring water and everything they used to do, because he was treated. Only then, if you are like submissive like that only, you will get the right knowledge. So that way, that is the only way we have to know. So the best example is Arjuna. We have seen how he is asking, and also in Bhagavatam he is told to Parikshit Maharaj. So throughout Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj keeps asking questions, but in the same way he asks. Okay, next 3.5. Who will read? Who will read?
Shall I read, Mataji?
Krishna Priya, read.
यज्ञात्वा न पुनर्मोहम् एवं यास्यसि पाण्डव येन भूतान्यशेषानि द्राक्ष्यस्यात्मान्यतो मयि. Having obtained real knowledge from a self-realized soul, you will never fall again into such illusion. For by this knowledge, you will see that all living beings are but part of the Supreme, or in other words, that they are mine.
Having obtained real knowledge from a self-realized guru, like in Sloka 4.34, Krishna has explained how one should approach a guru. Now in Sloka 4.35, Krishna is talking about the result of approaching a proper guru. How, if you approach a proper guru in the proper direction, what will be the result is explained in this sloka. Having obtained the real knowledge, that means when we approach a guru, we get the knowledge from a self-realized soul. You will never fall again into the illusion. We have been discussing that we get the knowledge, and once again we fall back into the Maya. By knowing this knowledge, you will see that the living beings are a part of our Supreme. So, what is the basic knowledge? All of us have to get that we are all part and parcel of Krishna. We have come from Krishna. This knowledge is what a guru will give. So once we know this knowledge, that means when we know that we are a part of our parents, we normally never try to go away from the parent. If you go away from the parent because of Maya, that's a different story. The kind of attachment we have with our parents, we develop with Krishna. In other words, they are all mine. That means the other next to your parents, who is the person you love most? Next person you love will be your siblings. That means your sister, brother. Why? Because you think that both of us are born to the same parents. That means we are all one. She is mine, he is mine, he is my brother, my sister. That kind of a feeling we developed because we feel that we are all from the same source. We are born to the same mother. We are born from the same father. So when we understand that all the living beings are from same Krishna, what is the feeling we get? That all the living beings are our siblings, are our brothers and sisters. The plants, the animals, any living being, anything, everything, anything and everything is from Krishna. And so they are all mine. So once we get that feeling, Maya can never separate us from other living beings. So whatever, see, we might get an angry with our sister or brother, we might fight very badly, we might fight. But after half an hour, after 1 hour, again we become one. Because nobody can separate us because of the inner feelings what we have on each other. Similarly, when we realize that we are all the living beings are a part of the Supreme, then we cannot be separated from any other living beings. That, okay, again I'm going to the wrong, I don't know. When we try to eat a non-vegetarian, we get the feeling that we are eating our siblings, we are eating our brothers and sisters. So that kind of a feeling we'll get. Okay. So once we get this feeling, that separation of Maya will not happen. Okay. Siri, you want to read this? 4.36. Siri.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Api chedasi papebhya sarvebhya papakrittama sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijinam santarishyasi. Translation: even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries.
Yeah. Here the meaning is very clearly given. Even if you consider to be the most sinful of all sinners, even the most sinful of all the sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, that means we have to cross. So the boat, what we have taken, all the sinful reactions, if we have to cross the sinful reaction, the boat, what we have to take is the transcendental knowledge. He will be able to cross the ocean of miseries. If we are doing lot of sinful actions, we have to swim in the ocean of miseries. That means we have to undergo the suffering of all the sinful reaction. So to escape that, the only way is to get the transcendental knowledge. Here I got a very big doubt. Did any one of you get that doubt? Here, understand this very clearly. We are doing lot of sins. Now I have to suffer a lot. I have to suffer a ocean of miseries. So I take the transcendental knowledge. That means I earn the transcendental knowledge. That means, am I going to escape from all this? Will I be able to escape all this? No. So here, what Krishna is telling is not that. Here, once we get this knowledge, see, how are we doing lot of mistakes? Most of the mistakes, what we do is lack of knowledge. Once we are, just see for yourself, with the little knowledge, what all of us got from this science SSR class or from this little Bhagavad Gita, what we are trying to understand is very small. In spite of that, because of that itself, lot of mistakes which we are about to do, our consciousness tells, no, you should not do that. This is the sinful reaction what you are going to get. Or Krishna has told you not to do this. So that is wrong. This is wrong. This is what it is. The bell in our mind keep ringing. Does it ring? So when that kind of things happen, we cannot do mistakes. So, and directly or indirectly, we dedicate our life to Krishna. The moment we are continuously here, one very important thing is, you or me or any one of us can never think that I have understood, Bhagavad Gita. Enough of it. I have studied Bhagavad Gita. Enough of it. I'll stop from now. The moment we say out of touch is out of mind. Definitely anything we are not in touch, it goes out of our mind. So this kind of a spiritual book, there should be no day where we should be out of it and out of knowledge. So every day we should keep practicing it. So what happens is when we keep in touch with it, our mind becomes so pure that you will not do any more mistakes and you will spend your life in transcendental knowledge in a very sacred way. So once we do it, all our miseries and all our sinful, that means we are spending our life in Krishna consciousness. So when we are spending our life in Krishna consciousness, what happens is we are doing a karma, all our sins will get washed away. We are crossing the ocean of miseries. Okay, 4-7. Harshit, are you there?
Harshit,
లేడా నువ్వు చెప్పు చదవమ్మా.
yes, Mataji.
ఆయన 100 శ్లోకాలు చదివాడు, శ్లోకాలు చదవమని చదవట్లా. చెప్పు.
यथैधांसि समिद्धोऽग्निर्भंसा सात्कुरुतेऽर्जुन नानाग्नेः सर्वकर्माणि भंसा सात्कुरुते तथा. Translation: as a blazing fire turns firewood to ashes, O Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge burn to ashes as all reactions to material activities.
So this is very clearly said. As a blaze of fire turns firewood into ashes, so we fire a firewood. It burns, and it becomes ashes. There is no more firewood. So similarly, O Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge burns the ashes of burns to ashes all reactions of material activities. That means the knowledge what we are getting and the way we are going to use the knowledge is most important, not just getting the knowledge. Here, even though we said the knowledge, if we are using the knowledge in the right way, it burns away all the reactions of our material activities or what we have already done to ashes. Harshit is not there. Harshit, are you not reading?
He joined now.
Yeah, neat. 4.38. 4.38.
Yes, Mataji. Nahi gnanena sadrasham pavitram iha vidyate tat swayam yoga samsiddha kalina mani vidati.
Yeah.
In this world, there is nothing no sublime and pure as transcendental knowledge. Such knowledge is mature fruit of all mysticism, and one who has become accomplished in the practice of devotional service enjoys this knowledge within himself in due course of time.
In this world, there is nothing so sublime and pure as transcendental knowledge. That means getting the transcendental knowledge is the highest knowledge what we can get. Such knowledge is the mature fruit of mysticism. That means the result of getting the knowledge is the highest result what we can get of this spiritual knowledge. And one who has become accomplished in the practice of devotional service, that means once who is practicing this knowledge, this is what I was talking before, in devotional service, enjoys this knowledge without himself in due course of time, within himself in due course of time. That means once whoever gets this knowledge and starts practicing this in devotional service will enjoy this knowledge within himself. That means whatever we do for Krishna, we start enjoying within ourselves as the time progresses. So here, here it is clearly 3:38. No? Yeah. So it is explained that on its own means jnana yajna will one on its own will appear on practice of nishkama karma. Here he is telling that we are going to do nishkama karma. That means what is nishkama karma? Nishkama karma is nothing but doing our prescribed duties the way without any expecting any fruitive results. Then one need not do any karma yoga. But if one does, so once we reach the stage of nishkama karma yoga, we need not do any more karma yoga. This is what Krishna has said in the previous slokas, I think in the 3rd chapter. He said a nishkama karma yogi need not do any more karma, but because he is a self-realized person, but he still does it. Why does he do it? To set an example to others. So so here till now Krishna has been talking about this karma yoga. Why? He is only telling us how to do our karma. He is finally concluding that we have to do our we have to be a nishkama karma yogi. So in the first 6 chapters he talks about only this karma yoga. So why he talks like that is he slowly gradually keeps increasing our knowledge of how to do our karma, because in the beginning itself you cannot say do nishkama karma yoga, that we cannot take it. So slowly what he is telling is that by practicing like this, we become a nishkama karma yogi. 3.9. Yeah. We'll read.
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yeah, read.
1 minute, Mataji. Please. श्रद्धा लभते ज्ञानं तत्पर संयतेन्द्रियः ज्ञानं लब्ध्वा परं शान्तिम् अचिरेणाधिगच्छति. Translation: a faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge, and having achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace.
A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge. That means a person should be faithful and he should be dedicated to get this knowledge and subdues his senses. That means once on one hand we cannot say I want knowledge, and the other hand we cannot spend our life in sense gratification. Eligible to we should have sense gratification and eligible to achieve such knowledge, and having achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace. So that is the only way we can attain the supreme personal spiritual peace. So who can attain jnana? Krishna explains in this sloka very, very clearly. We are talking about getting jnana, that is the knowledge. To acquire knowledge, one need to be faith. He should have faith on whatever he is learning. He cannot say, okay, it is written in the book, I will read. Maybe it is true, maybe it is not true. He cannot be like that. He should have faithful. He should have faith on what he is reading and getting. Also dedicated to nishkama karma yoga. He should be very much dedicated to doing nishkama karma yoga, and determined and controlled mind. He should be very much determined and have controlled senses, mind and senses. Then only one will get peace and liberation. That is the only way. So we should have faith. Only without having faith, anything we do can never be successful. 4.4. Yeah, who will read?
I'll read my question.
Yeah, who is that?
Ajnascha shraddhadanascha samsayatma vinashyati nayam lokosti na paro na sukham samsayatmanah. Translation: but ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. They fall down. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next.
Till now, Krishna has told who will gain out of getting this knowledge. Now, in this sloka, Krishna is telling who will not gain by getting knowledge. But ignorant and faithless person who doubt the relevant scriptures do not attain God consciousness. It is very clear, no? Only when we have faith, we will be able to do or implement things properly. If you do without faith, we cannot do it wholeheartedly. That is very clear. All of you must have experienced it. So once we cannot do it wholeheartedly, you will fall down. For the doubting soul, there is neither happiness in this world or in the next world. So when we don't have happiness here, what happiness we'll have there? So even in our day-to-day life also, we have to be clear on one thing. What is that? Shall I do that? Shall I do this? Shall I do that? Shall I do this? We will neither do anything. Is this correct? Is that wrong? Is this correct? We should be very clear about what we are doing. So every person should have trust. That is very important. So, and if he is ignorant man, that means ignorant means he has no knowledge about the scriptures. And faithless, that means he has no, in spite of the first person is ignorant. Now, if he has the knowledge and also has no belief on the knowledge, or doubtful, that means he knows what the knowledge is, but he is doubtful. Okay, it is written in the Vedas, it is written in the scriptures. Is it correct? Do I think it is correct? And if he starts doubting the scriptures, they will not work from him. They will not work. Those things will not work from him. So he will definitely fall down. They will not work from him means if we have faith on something, what we are doing, we cannot do a proper job. Only with faith we will do a proper job. So he will fall down. And because he is doubting the scriptures, there will be no happiness in this life or in the next life. This is very clear. With common sense, we can understand this. Yeah, 4.41. Hare Krishna, Sri Sagana has joined. Who will read this? Siri, will you read? Siri, not there. Arshit,
Yes, Mataji.
yeah, Siri, you are right. Very good. Read, Amma.
योगसन्न्यस्तकर्माणं ज्ञानासञ्छिन्न संशयम् आत्मवन्तं न कर्माणि निबध्नाति Dhananjaya. Translation. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his action, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus, he is not bound by the reactions of work, O conqueror of riches.
Yeah. So we are coming into end of this chapter. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his action, and whose doubts have been destroyed by the transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. That means within himself. Thus, he is not bound by the reactions of work. O conqueror of the riches. So here in this, Krishna refers to the word yajna, which means here the yajna what Krishna is referring is the karma yajna. And sanyastu he refers. It is sanyastu means he is referring to the giving up things. As we have discussed, sannyasi means a person who gives up everything. So here he is saying giving up everything is sanyastu, what Krishna is referring. And karmani means fruitive actions. That means a karma yogi who is giving up everything, all the fruitive actions. Definition, and this is nothing but the definition of karma yoga. Samsayam is another word what Krishna is using here, which is called doubts. Another word he uses is Atmanam. Here all of us know that we are all Atmas and we are all Atmarams. And we means Atma. But here again, Krishna uses the word those Atmanams who are like this is what's it. Does it mean that others are not that? No. what he here says is Krishna is referring to the self-realized person as Atmavan, as he is a realized, as he has realized his soul, as the karma yogis, who have given up everything in all the fruitive reactions. Krishna is referring them as Atmavan. Because why? Because he is a person, he has self-realization and he knows that he is the soul. Such a person is not attached to karma. So the first thing what Krishna is telling here is being situated in karma yoga is in giving up fruitive activities. The second thing what Krishna is telling here is being situated in jnana, in knowledge, giving up your doubts. The third one he is telling is you have to be a self-realized person. That means we are not going to have any more wandings. 4.2. We'll read this.
Shall I read, Mataji? Yes, ma'am. Tasmat agnana sambhutam Kritstham gnanasi natmana chitvainam samsayam yogam adhistotista bharata. Translation. Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slayed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bharata, stand and fight.
Yeah. Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bharata, stand and fight. So here, because Krishna has given explanation to all the doubts what Arjuna has got, so Krishna is telling, therefore now that I have explained you karma yoga, now that all your doubts must have gone because of the knowledge, and you must have slashed with the weapon of knowledge. So was Bharata, stand and fight. 4.2. So this is the last one. Huh? Yeah, sorry. So this is the last one. So here Krishna. So here Krishna has explained all the doubts which Arjuna has raised, and Krishna is concluding saying that all the doubts must have got burnt in the knowledge, cut down with the sword of knowledge. Right. Hare Krishna. So any more doubts?
No, Mataji. Mataji, attendance you did not.
I'll give.